exquisite innocence of God. Light of creation. This moment is the moment of love. This moment of love is always here, waiting for sanity to return, to embrace what is here now, the light, the love, the harmony and peace. In this beautiful present moment that is truly love itself. You leave the past at the door. The past does not come with you into love. The past, the belief of separation, is not the truth of love. It was made out of a concept of a false identity, all made of separation, all made of the belief that you could be separate from God. And in that belief, a world was made through the affirming of separation itself, so that all that came from it was illusionary ideas of battle. Battle in all of its forms. Battle that shows up as worry. Battle that shows up as concerns. Battle that shows up as pain. Battles that show up as fear itself. All battles and all the perception of battles only have one thing in common: fear. In the truth of this moment, in the truth of your divine self, you can't bring fear with you. You can't bring hatred with you. You can't bring the belief of battle with you. They must be left behind with the swords that were made to preserve a false identity. Imagine all the swords that the world has made dropped at the door. And you walk through the door. Through the door of love, where you embrace harmony and peace once again as the truth of who you are, and the wild imagined dreams, nightmares disappear. And when those nightmares disappear, who you thought you were also disintegrates, and the light of God is once again recognized and accepted. This light of God, this divine beauty, creates with God. This divine beauty, this divine wisdom, orchestrates the universe in joy and peace and constant blessings. Nowhere through this door is there any hint, not one hint, of difficulty, of strategies, of scarcity, of information that was gathered for thousands of years, all disappearing because they never were. The freedom of love, the joy of returning home, joyfully is celebrated as one. A joy so great, so all-encompassing, that your breath is taken by its magnitude and its magnificence. What you leave that never was is so small and insignificant, is so non-true, that you realize that in the truth of oneness, nothing else was ever real. To wake up from a bad dream is nothing but a relief, and such deep gratitude that it never was anything at all. And imagine in that joy, in that love, in that light, that all the beliefs of hatred and the beliefs of condemnation never were. That no one has ever, no part of the divine truth of love could ever do anything to change or alter the divine light of love and the truth of humanity's oneness. Imagine that when you go through that door, the entire belief of relationship with differences never was. That there never were levels and degrees to fix the insane mind on and make pain out of those levels and degrees, always used for battle. The belief of scarcity never was, never existed. Just part of the mirage, the nightmare of a sick dream that caused fevers in its wake, but never really existed at all. The return home is every beloved's journey. Even though, in truth, in coming through the door, you realize there never was even any journey, because you could not leave the source of your existence. And just because a dream, a nightmare was believed in and seemed so real, and that time seemed so real, and then to find out, in truth, it never existed. All the false gods that were made to worship in an illusionary form never existed. To open to the abundance of love that you cannot with the mind imagine, the expansion of your divine being, the immense magnitude that is the entire universe of the love that you are. There is no awareness of that love in the world of separation. The world of separation has made a mockery of the word love, using it to get, using it to win, using it to protect. But it has no resemblance to the truth of love. And yet, that truth of love is your complete existence. To unlearn a false identity is the journey of incarnation. To unlearn, to reject all that has been learned, all that you have gathered of information, of knowing. Now, let it fall through your fingers. Let it drift away. Turn away from the made-up identity. Not turning away from it in fear, but turning it away because you are willing to accept that it absolutely has no value. That all these thousands of years of settling for next to nothing, will not continue in your journey to remembering. That as you walk truly in the journey of remembering, truly wanting to come home to the divine, to the truth, bits and pieces of identity start to shed. With every bit, with every piece, a little awareness shows up in the heart. And how is it that these bits and pieces start to fall away? They fall away because you said yes. And they fall away when you're willing to be shown the way. When you're willing to let the divine guide of love lead you. And putting your faith and trust that the divine guide of love will not betray you, will not fool you, will not do anything except lovingly, gently bring you home. The insane false self would like to make up a story, and does, that it knows the way, that it has know-how, that it has awareness. But it's all a lie. All the false self does is reaffirm pain and suffering in every possible way. Whether the pain and suffering looks like pleasure or looks like pain, they're all the same. A momentary distraction to the addiction of proving your worth. One of the essential acceptances in the journey of love is that you will never, ever prove your worth, because the truth of love is beyond anything and is everything, and therefore has no opposite to be proven against. To prove against something is to have an opposite. There has to be the insane agreement of more and less. There has to be the insane agreement of better and worse. And these insane agreements are what the ego uses to try to prove your worth. Trying to prove your worth into a concept of a self that the world has made up will never, never work. It has absolutely no purpose and value other than to keep you spinning in a false world. Every step of love is about trust and surrender. What you have trusted in the past is what you knew. What you surrendered to in the past was your own past. But love calls for the true surrender, the true trust. The trust of a divine creation and creator. The trust of something that has been unknown to you in the past. In the past, you believed you were alone and separate. In the truth, you are surrendering to wholeness and holiness, divine union of one. Imagine in this divine world of one, this divine creation world of one, there is no time to battle with. And there are no likes and dislikes to battle with. And to give you false ideas of making decisions within a world that has no love, has no truth. But the gratitude, the love, is in the remembering. I'm here to remember love. I'm here to say yes to coming home. I have no other purpose except to remember. And my purpose on the way to that truth of love is to offer love, to offer God's love, to offer forgiveness, that no one has done anything. No one has changed anything. No one has invented anything. The infinite truth of love has been all that has existed for all of eternity, has no opposites. Let the journey take you. Let love take you. And the stronger your yes becomes, the easier the journey of love. In this moment, just the simple willingness of surrendering this day, truly surrendering it, truly giving it to the light of God, to learn from, to be shown what is most helpful, what serves the truth of love, and how to walk in this world, learning only of love, to walk in this world in devotion to the truth of oneness. Every beloved is guaranteed to remember. And every beloved is truly only the light of God. There's nothing else to see, nothing else to latch onto. Just remembering love. In the truth of love, the realization that the very insane idea of problems was totally fabricated in the mind of the past and used only as a distraction to distract from the journey of love. right here, this moment. Love is. Love is the way. Love is the truth. Love is the brilliance. Love is. Step by step. And in this moment, the willingness to accept that here, in the infinite circle of love, all is love, all is one. You cannot be separate because you think you are. It doesn't work that way. You can think about it 24/7 about being separate, as many do, in all the ways that they can. It doesn't change the truth of this holy union of love, because it's all that really exists. This universe is all love. This sanctuary is only love. Nothing else can be brought to love. Love stands on its own because it's truly all that exists. Belief in nightmares doesn't change the truth of love. Fabrications of identity does not change the truth of love in its entirety of existence. Surrender your heart. Surrender your mind into the universe of love. There is only one presence here. It is the life force of God. And as you heal, as you let the false identity fall away, you enter and remember that here in the infinite, in this life force of God, we move and breathe and exist as love itself. The yes accepts this divine love, this divine harmony, this divine peace. It is within you. And as you open to that peace, as you open to that harmony and that joy that is within, in the silence and the quietness of meeting the divine within, the identity of being a separate self falls away. You will continue to walk temporarily in a structure that you have known as the body. And you will laugh at the silliness of having given the body your allegiance. You will laugh at the silliness of giving the body your loyalty and believing that the eternal light of all love would make something that would fall apart, that would hold so much fear, the fear of death being its main event, that all the while that you believe in the body, you grab at everything to try to make it real, and you can never make it real. It is a temporary instrument. That instrument can be used by love while it is still usable. But in the past, it was the ego's domain, a false identity in a temporary structure. Accepting the happiness, the gladness, that you are not that body. Because as you let go of that identity, the fear falls away with it. Because the body is the symbol of all fear. It holds the belief that you can be hurt. All of its energy bodies within the body structure is held in the mind of separation, in the belief that you can be hurt and you must protect something, defend something. And yet, this divine, infinite nature of love is waiting to be discovered through the yes, through your willingness that you don't know, but that you're willing to be led. You're willing for love to show you, and that love will whisper to you and lead the way. And all of heaven in joy sings for your return. One heart. That's all that there is. One heart. That little piece of heart that you have tried to protect needs to be returned to the oneness by letting go of everything that you thought you knew. The defensive mechanism that you've built around the heart will melt away as you say yes. I will love. I must love. I must see the divine in everyone, in everything, because it's only what exists and nothing else is real. Nothing else. Let the Holy Spirit of love use the body to serve love, to demonstrate love, to extend love. Let every expression of the body be purposefully manifested in the love of God. Awakening to the true choice of love. Allow this prayer to penetrate into the heart with the willingness to remember a deeper, deep truth that is waiting to be discovered within. And until this truth is discovered within, this jewel of truth is discovered, put your faith, put your trust in the teachings that lead you and in the voice of love that whispers to you in every moment. Over the mountains of despair, we will rise above. Over the heartache and the pain, upon the wings of love. The healing of our savage heart, gently by the dove, miraculously transforming us upon the wings of love. Terrible mistakes we think we've made, regrets we've undergone. Sometimes the hopelessness makes us forget the sun at dawn. All delight and joyousness, the tender mercies of Jesus, who carries our burdens upon the wings of love. Let your burdens be carried. Let the perception of all the burdens that you've carried, of the belief of having made mistakes, of having sinned in some form or another, for everyone and everything, let it all go. Surrender it all into the hands of God. Let your soul, your heart be cleansed so that the soul can return to the oneness of one soul, one heart, one light. Let the wings of love carry away all the mind of separation, leaving the pristine, beautiful mind of God, filled with knowledge, filled with the divine intelligence of the entire universe, resting in peace, resting as peace, resting in the oneness of truth. I must love. I must love with all of my heart. The Blessed Mother is the one who has called to me. Blessed Mother is the one who has called to every beloved, the spark of love. This Blessed Mother, the mother of all creation, calls to love God with all of my heart, surrendering the heart completely back into love, letting it be transformed and opened and exorcised of all fear that has held it in prison. Oh, my Blessed Mother, Divine Mother, you hold us in the truth of forgiveness. Show us the truth of forgiveness. Let it enter into every cell. We are here to remember that we must love. We are here to remember the oneness of love. Divine Father, Divine Creator of all that is, we say yes to the truth of forgiveness, to forgive all made up identities, so that we may remember that love is all there is. One heart, one life, eternally one, nothing else. Eleva no coração, a Virgem Mãe foi quem me deu para eu amar ao Senhor Deus. Ó Virgem Mãe, Divina Mãe, vós nos perdoe os filhos seus, para nos amar ao Senhor Deus. Divino Pai, Rei Criador, paz nos forma com grande amor, para nosso amor, um grande amor. One heart in the journey of love. As we affirm and accept the name of God, we accept our true name is one with God's name. In this truth, we are united with all life in the name of God, one within creation and Creator, one. Nothing else is real. What we made and call by many different names is but a shadow we tried to cast across reality of oneness. Truly has no meaning, and we are grateful that we were mistaken. We're grateful that we were mistaken, and we gladly remember and surrender our mistaken differences to be dissolved into the truth of oneness. One heart, one life, one love, one source. And so it is in the truth of love. As you use all the little names and symbols which have delineated the delusional world, affirm to no longer accept them as your reality and come back to the oneness of love itself. Stay with us. You leave our divine company when you speak of shame and blame. And this makes everyone in the tavern see through separation. Stay with us as we seemingly do the hardest work of rarely laying down that pick and shovel that will keep revealing our deeper kinship with God, that will keep revealing our divine worth as everyone uses the pick and shovel to learn, to dig through past the lies that have been made to the truth of love. You leave the company of the beloved friends whenever you speak of guilt or suspicion, knowing or loss. And this makes everyone in the tavern see themselves as separate. Stay with us tonight as we weave love. Stay in the truth of love by choice. And reveal ourselves as the oneness within his precious garments. This is the journey of love for everybody. Every beloved being called to the same journey to remember love. Stay with us is the calling of the divine. The calling of the divine to keep accepting that you don't need to leave the divine's company to think about something else, to believe in something separate, to have private thoughts, have private ideas, made-up stories that seem like the need for individuality has credence. To hold the story of separation in the belief of the past as having validity of truth when it has none. You cannot be the divine light of God and be an identity of separation. The truth of separation, the truth of love, will dispel that old belief of separation that has no value and no truth. There is no journey that any beloved has ever walked through on this earth. None that has ever touched one drop of the courage that it takes to walk home to the truth of love, to leave the identity behind, to refuse to be distracted by the mind of separation, but to serve the journey of love is to remember love. Stay with us as we seemingly do the hardest work of rarely laying down that pick and shovel. The questioning, the self-inquiry is what you bring to the spirit of love for healing. When you question the habits of the past, when you question what is running in the mind at any given moment, and truly ask, is this of peace? Is this in service of love? Or is it in service of the addiction to the emotional body and the separate thoughts that you have believed in? That's always the choice. The choice of peace, the choice of harmony, and allowing and saying yes to the Holy Spirit leading you. Letting your guide become prevalent in your awareness. Letting it be your central relationship. It is the one relationship that is necessary. And it is a relationship. It is a holy relationship until you remember the truth of oneness. And then even the relationship disappears because you melt back into that oneness. This is the devoted relationship of truth, where you no longer accept the habits of the past, however they show up, however the thousands of ways that they express themselves. You want to use that pick and shovel to really question the validity of your beliefs, of what is in charge of your everyday life. Pick and shovel that keep revealing the deeper kinship with God, the ultimate relationship that again dissolves from the belief of two into the belief of not two, only one. The divine creator and all creation, swimming in love. All the divine gifts of all the divine teachings are miraculous. Do not allow the ego identity to express being jaded by the exquisiteness, the beauty, the perfection of every sacred teaching. Don't try to use sacred teachings as a getting by, as filling in a space, but truly embrace each sacred teaching with your entire devotion, with your entire intention of being in the schoolroom of love, the precious gift of every sacred teaching. The devotion that you have experienced in the world is a devotion of hatred. Now it's the time to open to the devotion of love. To be so devoted that you have no other purpose, and that you want to recognize that purpose in every moment. You want it to be front and center in every moment. You want it to lead your daily life of learning and unlearning. That becomes the devotion. And even in that devotion, to surrender all of the expectations of results. The expectation of results can't be used in the spiritual journey. Those expectations, the whole relationship to expectations, is completely ego-made. To try to transfer expectations to be used for love can't work. To have fantasies about the progress that you're making can't work. To trust that everything is in perfect harmony and that the divine intelligence of God, the wisdom of the universe, is very well aware of what is most helpful and how your journey is unfolding. All that you're doing in the humility of love is showing up with your yes and the willingness to refuse everything but peace, everything but joy. To be willing to embrace the test of truth. That peace is the only state that you're willing to accept. The journey of love. Imagine that you also can't bring the belief of sacrifice with you. That you can't believe that you are sacrificing something in this world for something in exchange. There is no sacrifice in love. You cannot sacrifice what does not exist. That's impossible. And everything of the past does not exist. You are not sacrificing a false identity. There is nothing to sacrifice because the false identity is illusion. The remembering of love, the remembering of truth, through sacred teachings, through the voice of love, through that deep communion within, has no sacrifice, has no battle. There's nothing to get because everything is already here, waiting to be met, waiting to be discovered with your yes. Stay with us tonight as we weave love. Stay and reveal. Let the truth of you be revealed within his precious garments. Open to the mysteries of the universe. Bring with it your innocence that you don't know anything, that you bring nothing of your own concepts of the universe, of the truth of love, of creation, that you're willing to see everything through the heart of love, no longer trying to use the past to make sense of the spiritual journey. It will not. You cannot make sense of the spiritual journey with what you think you know. Everything is about coming empty. Everything is about showing up and saying, yes, show me the way. Show me the way. When the love of God whispers to you that happiness comes from releasing all beliefs of expectations, that there is happiness, there is joy waiting, present, all that you are, but can't be revealed to you because your mind is filled with the ideas of expectations. Expectations of your life, of what things mean, of how they unfold in your life, how you think that if you have expectations and think you know something about how things should be, that all that you will do is reinvent the past again and again and again in its same tired story. You will never see anything else except the past when you hold expectations coming from your own mind. Can this belief in expectations truly be surrendered? Absolutely. But first you have to be willing for the spirit of love to reveal to you how you use expectations, how you manipulate and try to protect your everyday life by having expectations and having ideas of what you think you know. Let the Holy Spirit illuminate what's in the way. Let the Holy Spirit illuminate your defense system, which of course has to include expectations because that's all conjecture, it's all made up. It seems real. You've believed it was real. You believed in your own mind's cause and effect. You believed that when you thought you knew something, that it was factual, that it was real. The journey of love is a leap of faith. The leap of faith to accept that there is a divine presence of love. So exquisite, so beyond anything that the mind could even touch in any way. Couldn't even touch it. Couldn't even grasp one little piece of sand of the truth, of the brilliance of love, of the blessings of love, of the perfection of love, of the holiness of love, the exquisiteness of love, purity of love, magnitude of love that is everything. Even the word magnitude has no possibility of touching. None of these words have any way of touching this divine truth. And yet used lovingly. The words are lovingly used even though they can't touch the reality. All expectations have to be surrendered. The expectations that you carry are a death sentence. The expectations that you carry are that pain and suffering is real. And that the only way to get away from pain and suffering is to seek for pleasure. The seeking of pleasure is held up with some idea of its possibility of being real. But it isn't real either. Pleasure is always used as a temporary fix, a temporary high to get away from the fear of pain. That's all that it ever does, whether it comes in, it doesn't matter what form it comes in. It's to try to get away from pain. The trying to get out of in the world what you believe will temporarily distract you from the pain of the past, the pain and suffering of the belief of death. And in this quest for pleasure, joy can't be found. Harmony can't be recognized. Peace is not possible because pleasure has no relationship to joy and peace and harmony. Pleasure and pain are not sins. They're just useless. They're just distractions. They affirm a separate self. They affirm that you know something and that it means something, even though it has really no meaning at all. The joy that you are, the light that you are, the beauty and perfection that you are, cannot be known in this world of separation. But you can discover it in your quiet journey, in the holy relationship with the Spirit of love that shows you the way home, that shows you how to recognize the lies of separation. And that will also help you recognize the brilliance of love. To want to see every beloved through the spirit of love. To want the spirit of love to be used as the lens that you see everything through. That you are willing for your heart to be open and used by love. And that you learn through that divine, holy relationship and come home. That you no longer want or admire or fear your separate identity that has no value. Stay with us. All of love is calling you constantly. Do you hear the whispering? Do you hear the song of love in your quiet silence of yes? Saying, stay with us. Stay with us. We're here to lead you. We're here to show you the way. Stay with us. Stay with us. Love is always whispering. But love whispers. The ego always speaks loudest and first. If you decide to listen to that voice, you won't hear the whisper. The loudest and first is what you're used to. But there's no love there. It's just habit. Just the habit of an identity that believes in itself, but has no truth. Stay with us. Listen to the whisper of love that is constantly your divine companion. Love has never deserted you. Love has never left you. Love is constantly with you, by your side, so close that you are one. It doesn't enter because the vibration of that entering would be more than your identity could take. So it stays right with you, constantly, waiting for you to listen, whispering to you, but just waiting for you to listen. That quiet stillness, it's there. It's there as you, day by day, refuse to listen to your mind. As you refuse to listen to the chattering of your mind that is a constant, incessant garbage chattering. Go beyond that. Quiet the mind by not listening to it. Quiet the mind by focusing on the stillness. Breathe into the stillness and allow that stillness to hold you. The power of that stillness is the power of God. You're terrified of that stillness. because you believe that it is dangerous. The ego has convinced you that it's dangerous to be in that divine stillness. But it isn't dangerous at all. That's a ruse. It's a lie. The fear is nothing more than a rebellion against God. The fear that shows up that says, I'm in danger, is just the rebellion against God. It's saying, don't go to the stillness. It's dangerous there. You could open your heart. Don't listen to the lies. Surrender the mind consciously, choosing moment to moment where you put your faith, where you put your trust. What are you surrendering to? The truth of God, consciously. Open that door of communion. Write love poems to God. Let poetry come from your heart to God, your beloved, the divine friend, that you can pour everything of the past, pour it into God. Let God take it. Surrender it all. All the fears that you've held, all the lies that have filled your mind, surrender them all. Commune with the divine. Go into the closet with God. Go into that divine closet and meet the friend. Meet the divine, meet the beloved. This is who you've longed to meet, so that you can merge into that oneness, so that you can come home. And you can end this world of starvation that you've believed you were in. The starvation of love. And that all of the universe is waiting to pour into your awareness. It's your yes. It's your willingness. It's your devotion. Meet the divine. Meet the friend within. Open that divine communion. Don't be afraid of love, and don't be afraid that it's too much love. Don't be afraid of your divine power. Don't be afraid of your divine light. Don't diminish the truth of love's existence by believing in things that have no value and no purpose. You're here to remember love. You're here to come home to love because it's who you are, what you are, not as an individual, as the divine union of love. It seems that with the cravings of the world, the addictions of the world, they seem so real, they seem so necessary, they seem so valuable and so authentic. But these cravings, these addictions to being seen and being heard and being valued and being worth something and all of that it doesn't mean anything. You're the divine of love. Don't be afraid of that exquisite perfection. Don't be afraid of accepting that divine light that you are. and living as that divine light. Express that divine light. Offer that divine light. Offer that peace. Offer that harmony. Offer the compassion of love in the realization that every beloved is the oneness. That there's nothing else to know about anybody or anything. It's just worthless names and identities that you want to give to everybody so that you know something, so that you can get your ducks in a row and feel like you're in charge of your little universe. But it doesn't make any truth. It has no reality. Let all the names go and want to see the beloved that is behind the name, behind the role that you have given them, behind the identity that you have given them. It's right there. The truth of every beloved is shining if you are looking with the heart, if you are looking with your willingness to see them. Because as you see each beloved as the light of God, you see yourself. The truth of light becomes stronger and stronger and stronger because everywhere you look, you see God. Everywhere you look, you see the divine. Everywhere you look, everywhere you turn, everything that is, you see God. You see purity, you see innocence, you see the light, the perfection. Let the Christ light be revealed to you through your willingness. You will not see the Christ light, the holy light that is the truth of everything that is living. You will not see it without your wanting it. That is your choice. You are not a puppet. You are not a slave. You have believed that you were a slave. Every beloved who believes that you are a body believes that you are a slave. You can't be a slave. You are the light of God. Slavery is what the ego has made in the belief of separation. None of it is true. And your power comes in your choice. Open that doorway of your choice in every moment, and you find the power of God. The choices will disappear when you remember the truth of love. There will be no purpose to choice any longer. It's a temporary gift, a temporary purpose to remember love. But choose. Because you are always choosing, just be aware that you are always choosing. When you think you're not choosing and you are in your trance of believing in your habits and your way and how you think things are and how you think things should be and in your mind, you're choosing. You're choosing every moment. You're just not choosing love. Just because you're not aware that you're choosing doesn't mean that you're not choosing. There is no neutrality. There are no neutral thoughts. They are either the truth of love or the lies of separation. And that choice, as you say yes, and as you choose, and as you learn to choose, because it is a learning. You have believed with all of humanity for lifetime after lifetime after lifetime that you were a victim and that you had no choice. That you were at the mercy of a world that you had no choice. But now, in the truth of love, you begin to recognize the world I made is coming from my own mind, and I have to choose. I have to choose the truth of God or choose what I think I know from the past. That I can choose love. Easily, I can choose love. And as you choose love, you invite the divine alchemy of healing into the transformation of your awareness. You invite the miracle of love, of God's grace, to permeate through the illusion and enlighten the mind, open the mind to the truth of God. And as you open your mind to the truth of God, the lies are released because you cannot serve them both. Release what you think you know into the hands of God and accept the light and the power through your choosing. Do not shy away from choosing. It's part of waking up because you've been in a trance. You've been in a trance of separation, believing in the past. And as you believe in the past, you believe that you could sleep through the whole thing. Being in your private thoughts and your own ideas and habits. Developing habits, developing systems, developing ways, a defensive system that walk through the world believing in difficulty, protecting and defending. But now you're being called to choose love and let love show you the way. And love will show you the way. And love will not only show you the way, love will transform everything that you've made up of the past, and it will disappear. It's guaranteed. In this world, everything can be healed because everything of this world is nothing. Not because it's evil, but because it's just a temporary illusion. The truth of your divine, exquisite self is waiting to be met by choice, by inviting the divine alchemy of love to heal, by inviting the power of God to transform. Take this life and use it for all remembering. Take this life and transform it. Turn it inside out and upside down until nothing is recognized anymore and only love is present. Take this life and return it to the heart of God. Take this life and let it melt into every life, returning to the holy union of love that is actually all that has been. When you accept the returning, what you're really accepting is what has always been. And the illusion of a separate life disappears. Love is all that there is. Love is your life. Love is truth. Love is the power of the universe. And love is heaven here, now, right now. Heaven is here. Drop the swords. Drop the mind. and return. And when you return, you will recognize, oh, nothing had ever happened and I never left. And love is. One heart. One heart. One heart. One heart. Mm-hmm.